comma, gotta get it, get it. Comma, gotta get it, get it.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Condors Esports Hub. I am standing in the spot I always stand throughout the week during playoff week, which means we're getting closer and closer to an actual game. You can see all the gamers gaming behind us. Our Rocket League squad is going to be kicking butt today in just a few moments here. But before we do that, let's talk about their journey to the beginning here. I'm Leaf, and I'll be talking to Coach Hurd in just a second. And we got some, I think it's, we got Andrew Ireland, still the nameless gamer, and Cove casting later on. But for now, let's take a look at the team's journey. We're in NECC playoffs, and so far, it's been good for them. They've gotten a couple wins, 4-2, 4-2. Looks like there was a bit of battle here, but if you watch the actual games, they were in full control by the end of those series. The team is doing a real good job at adapting right now, and we're hoping today's the same story. If they win this, they go into the grand finals with an extra life, which is exactly what you want. Now, to talk about that journey so far before we get to the game, let's talk to Coach Hurd. I just brought you up here a moment ago. Hey, we got your own mic today.
Ooh.
Yeah, just don't break it, all right?
Okay,
or it's on. All right,
it's
$6,000 to my pay. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about the team here. They're locking in. They're ready to go. I just mentioned it. You know, it seemed by the end of a lot of the series they played in NECC so far have been in their control. Yep. You mentioned that too, that it feels like they're getting better at adapting.
Yes.
Do you feel confident that's going to continue on throughout the rest of this journey?
Absolutely. A lot of it has to do with our preparation as well. We've been getting a lot of good prep in, and it's been showing. I think our loss against Davenport on our NACE finals was an example of that, where we didn't have the best preparation, and it kind of affected us overall. We have a shorter series to adapt there, but across 7 games, starting off early, feeling our opponents out rather quickly, and figuring that out as we go. Rather than 3 games later, we're figuring out 1 or 2. So that, I think that'll pay off for us today as well.
What do you think's been, the biggest factor that's allowed the team to be able to be more consistent in their adaptation in the middle of a series? Is there a key component or thing you guys have worked on that has allowed that, or do you feel like it's just a natural growth?
Two-parter, truthfully. We're getting better scrims and a lot better practice outside of league games at this point. And I have to say the addition of Cyber at this point, on-field leadership and quick micro adjustments from him that he notices. He has a lot of good experience he brings to the team, and he's able to see things a lot quicker and make on-field adjustments. I have to wait for between whistles when goals are scored, right?
Yeah, you can't talk. Yep.
Exactly, right? It's part of the league rules, so having him be able to do that on the fly with them is very, very helpful.
Yeah. No, I guess just one more before we go into the series. Looking at tonight's matchup, how are you feeling? I mean, you feel like we're going to be in a good situation going into those grand finals with a second life?
I think so. This game isn't unlike any of the other ones we've played in NEC so far. There's somebody who is quote-unquote a star player on their team leading the way. So if we are able to isolate and recognize that and play our game consistently around that and through that, then I think just like against the USC Gamecocks, just like against Terps Esports, we're going to have a good showing out there today.
Cool. Hey, well, let's not delay any longer. Let's get into it. Take a look at the players, then to the casters, then to the game.
I mean, you heard it from Leaf, and you'll hear it from us, the Rocket League team, and they are ready to go, ready as ever with their outdated picture. Coach Hurd doesn't quite look like that no more.
No, definitely. He grew a beard. He shaved. Kaza and Hurd look the same. Coach Hurd is the guy on the far right there at the end. He has Well, you just saw him. He's got a buzz cut now. And Akaza is not hurt, even though he does look like maybe a younger version in this picture.
The time traveler. And then the rest of the roster, of course, Cyber, Chunk, and 80, a team that has been playing together this season very, very effectively as we've been watching it. Me, Curtis Cove Collings, Andrew, Andy Ireland have been enjoying it so far. I mean, this has been a team that's been a pleasure to watch. They were really good in their first iteration with Chunk, 80, and Rashiel, but I feel like they've taken themselves to a whole new level now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This whole semester, we've got the pleasure of casting them, and they've just been, they got up to, I wouldn't even call it a slow start, but it just some growing pains with the new teammate, and watching them, watching things click, and them just bringing the pace and higher has been really impressive to watch. So it's good to see them in the playoffs right now in the upper bracket final.
Well, exactly. You say higher and higher in that level that they've been taking their game to. Today is exactly that, facing off against the Florida Gators of a pretty big school in most sports. I mean, they've had a ton of notable alumni play basketball and football through their ranks. Not so sure about esports, though, as tonight we're facing off in Rocket League action, if you didn't already know. And again, this is the Division II tournament here, and whoever wins this goes on to the grand finals. You heard it there, but you want to have 2 lives, as this is a double elimination.
Yeah, that's going to be really big, really key for the Condors. If they can get through it with this win, it just gives them that much more of a chance. You know, maybe you're not quite there on finals day, which you'd hope for any team, but having that extra life to bring it to lock in and be able to give yourself a second chance at victory there makes it that much better. So definitely a lot on the line right here today, and yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, it's not even just that grand finals, but I'm pretty sure if you win in that grand final series, you have earned your way into a LAN event. I'm not sure where it is, but that would be pretty cool. As yesterday, if you weren't tuned into the stream, the Conestoga Condors Call of Duty team has clinched their LAN appearance. They will be going down to Florida to compete there. Funny enough, facing off against Florida tonight.
Big Florida theme tonight. We got the Gators here with Rocket League, and you mentioned to me earlier another fun fact: the home of Gatorade, the original.
They are
the original,
the inventor of Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yes, I was a student there, introduced it to the football team, and that's where we have Gatorade from nowadays. And it's one of those things where, yes, this is a school that has a ton of money. They're huge. They're one of the biggest schools in America, let alone just like in Florida in general. And so it's one of those teams that you can expect some pretty good action. Now, they did ask us to reschedule this game to 8 p.m. and we said, we'd rather just play at 7.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're going to come out of the gate a little angry, a little bit expect some demos, maybe.
some demos, a couple bump plays just to show their frustration out there on the field.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're Gators. They got to play mean. That's as the logo suggests. We need a Condors energy drink.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not the man that's gonna make that.
Yeah.
We got our League of Legends captain Lopachinski. He's in the health industry.
Oh.
So maybe he could get on that.
Yeah. A healthy sports drink.
No, that's a waste of time.
Yeah.
As we can't let that get in our heads, though. I hope the boys haven't been drinking any of the opponent's fluids tonight. I hope they're just
no
sticking to what they know. And, I mean, you see the boys there on the desk. And really the story of the game and the story of the playoffs with this team, of course, if you don't already know, they beat the University of South Carolina Gamecocks, another huge school for both basketball and for football. And then they faced the Maryland Terps, another really big school. This is a team that is slaying giants on their way, and I say giants, but they're the higher seeded matchup in most of these.
Yeah, that just goes to show like the level that they are bringing to the pitch this semester is just. You already had, like you said, a really good team last semester. With the addition of Cyber, just elevated it completely, and
the boys here, we don't drink Gatorade, we drink Red Bull here, supplied to us in the official Red Bull fridge. This is our gamer fluids, and that's where I'm going to leave that at.
It could clean your windshield. That's I don't know. I tried to make the Rocket League tie, and that didn't really work. Whatever, fluid, you know.
As for the third time, Condors versus the Florida Gators, and we see it we're just getting into the action now as kickoff is set to take place.
Yeah, here comes the action. The Condors are going to be the blue team, the University of Florida. You were right. They start things off with a demo, but 80 is there to make the save. You're right. They just brought the aggression right off the bat. The Condors are going to, get their bearings. It's only 15 seconds into the game here, but already a couple shots on goal here for the Florida team.
Yeah, huge opportunity there for Raid coming in, but the save was made. The Condors' positioning is going to be paramount here as they try to get their way out of the zone with no boost. Cyber sent it on net. It got sent back to the Condors zone, and Chunk followed it
Yeah,
up.
you're seeing a little bit of disorganization here. Right here, the Florida player bumps his own teammate, or narrow miss, but they're definitely not communicating perfectly there as they left that goal wide open for Chunk to put on the first goal.
Yeah, and when you see the player reactions like that, the no pop-offs, the no nothing like that, they know they I don't want to say didn't deserve it, but let's just say it was an easy goal to put in the net.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe you saw a few bumps on the own team in the offensive end for Florida, so maybe they're facing a little bit of nerves for the playoffs. Maybe they're just didn't coordinate perfectly on the first couple of plays, and they're going to lock in. But it's a good start for the Condors, definitely seeing Florida making this many kind of careless plays.
Yeah, it seemed like for the first 15, 20 seconds of the game, the Condors were stuck in their own zone. Faced a couple of shot opportunities, but it did not matter as they are now up one a minute into this game. They do find themselves in their own zone, but it seems like they've gotten their cool, they're collected, and they're now sending the ball up the field. Chunk on net, but that's a big save. Good positioning there, but the Condors aren't out of it at all yet.
Yeah, some really nice pressure by Cyber coming in down the field there as he was making a few bumps on the Florida players, just really getting up in their grills, making it hard for them to make a good play. Although Cyber with it had to be really careful there, almost knocked it toward the own goal there, and was able to clear that out of the way. Now they're bringing it into the corner. That's going to be steered aside by Hammy Crackers.
Hammy Crackers, Raid, and Larry, the members of the University of Florida team. Cyber sends that up for Chunk, who gets met in mid-air by Raid, and we see Florida attempting to get this back out of their own zone, but the Condors were ready for it there. Cyber playing it first on net, and that's going to be bumped up by 82 Chunk and in the goal. Beautifully put together, and it's like they drew it up.
Yeah, really nice pass by 80 right here. Just gets a nice soft touch. Nobody near it from the Florida team, and that just gives Chunk a nice clear shot on goal there.
You know why no one was near it?
Why?
Big demo from the Condors just before. I couldn't spy out who it was, but I'd have to assume the lone man on the ground still was able to get a big demo there. Once it's a 2-on-3, it don't matter as immediately off the kickoffs, Condors with their 2-0 lead are putting the pressure on. Shot in from Chunk, but good positioning there. Two Florida Gators were in net watching that.
Yeah, the Condors are doing a really good job right now of putting all the pressure on. They have been pinned in the Florida zone for quite a while now. They've also just been getting shots on goal and not letting the Gators really escape. Although that's going to be a shot on goal, but an easy one to steer aside for 80, and he's going to bring that back the other way.
You say easy, like I would be able to save that. That is one of those things where these players, the skill level that they're at, it is just so much higher than the average person. Cyber beats Larry in midair during his air triple and just knocks that away as the Condors trying to get out of their own zone, get the passing plays going, meets 80 on the wall. It doesn't quite get the touch he wants, but that ball will settle just right up in the middle of the pitch. Here
comes Chunk, puts a hard one off the backboard. Somebody's going to try and follow this up, but it is cleared away by Hammy Crackers, so the fellas just wait patiently on the ground. But here comes Chunk again. Still on it. It's in the corner. It's going to pop out in front of the Florida net, and here's Cyber with a chance. A soft shot off the post, and 80's there to clean it up.
He just came in like Superman, flying in from off frame as that ball was just... Oh, you could blow it in with a slight breeze. It was just riding the goal line.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you see Chunk make that bump on his attempt at putting it home, you just know they're in shambles. They were all over the place, and 80 doesn't have to worry about overcommitting if he missed that ball. I mean, that would have not been playoff Rocket League, that's for sure. Cyber's there to clear that open net shot. 80 puts a touch off the back wall, goes for a double touch pass. Cyber's there, but
awkward.
Yeah, couldn't put it home.
Super awkward positioning, but we see the Condors again in that attacking zone, and all it really takes is one mistake for Florida, for the Condors to capitalize on it right now. It seems like the Condors can make no mistake as Cyber comes in, cannot get that ball to bounce off his car right at the last second there. As Florida, this has been back and forth, but it seems like the Condors have had that offensive possession.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bump on the wall there on Cyber, but Chunk is there to clear that out. And 80 makes the catch. He's going to start bringing this toward the Florida net. Doesn't have quite enough, so he leaves it for Chunk, but that's going to be met by Hammy Crackers, who sends it toward the Condors net.
You like that name, Hammy Crackers,
I do.
on the Florida Gators side, as he has been doing a bunch for his team so far. One shot on goal to start this thing, but not much sense, as we do see in the offensive zone. The Florida Gators get that double tap off the wall. Larry on that, but couldn't keep it going.
Good read by Cyber to make that save. It was a really deceptive touch there, but he is demoed trying to bring it out of the zone, so that puts the Florida team in the Condors
Well,
end.
they were for a second there. Good clear from Cyber, though. Stayed in, didn't bite on a shot attempt. Stayed true in the net, as, again, Florida in the offensive zone. We will see how long this lasts, as meeting it in midair. There's Chunk, the captain of this team, and has been for a long time.
Yeah, great read just to get on the ceiling and then get in front of that ball. The Condors are going to keep trying to get this out of the corner. It's been pinned in here, but we've only got 10 seconds left.
I was about to say, yeah, with a 3-goal lead and 10 seconds left, it don't really matter where the ball is at right now. I don't even think physically Florida could come back.
No, definitely not. Not at this point. And it touches the ground. That's going to be the end of game 1. Condors find themselves winning the first one, that much closer to the best of 7 here.
But they stay calm, they stay cool, they stay collected. It's almost like they're in a sense of meditation. I haven't even seen a smile cracked on any of their faces. This is just business as usual for these guys.
Yeah, definitely the business face right now, as they are playing. You know, and this is a team that really does like to joke around a lot, have fun, but it's nice to see them being able to really lock in for this upper bracket final. You know, the stakes are high, and they are locked in.
That's one of those things I was asking. Me and Leaf were talking with Brody, you as well. He said that this is a team that if they play like they know how to play, if they lock in, if they play just Rocket League, if they don't get in their own heads, they'll win almost any matchup. And that's the thing. They got to not beat themselves in that first game. Well, it went pretty good.
Yeah, they were playing. They were playing like themselves, but they were beating different people. I guess
they were playing the Condor strategy, not the unlocked strat that we've come to find. As 80, lone man back. Good thing he was, because that ball was making its way towards the net.
Yeah, for a second you thought Chunk would have had that clear.
Oh no, this is a thing. I'll take blame on this, 80, because I mentioned your name. I said it's a good thing you did something.
Yeah, just an unfortunate recovery. Cyber knocks that ball off the back of 80's car, and it goes right out in front. Raid is there to put that one home. That's going to be the first goal for Uni of Florida.
Now, I will say, if that is their first and only goal of this series so far, I still like the Condors' chances, as that is the flukiest of fluke goals. But you got to look out. Larry on the way in.
Yeah, there's not many goals that you see at this level that you're like, yeah, maybe I could have put that one home. I might have been able to. But Chunk is going to take this toward the Florida zone. The Condors aren't going to let up at all that easily, so they're back in action here. We do see a demo, though, so it's going to be up to the Condors to get back and make sure they're in position to make the save.
And they do. Perfectly so. Chunk playing that off the wall. Tried to get to the middle of the field for Cyber, but you saw him. No boost there, as the Condors get a demo of their own back on the revenge.
Yeah, a little revenge there. They do misread that passing play, and the Florida player was there to pick that up. It's going to go into the Condors' corner here, as Chunk's there to just try and steer it aside.
Yeah, give it a little bat and give it out of the crease of the Condors at the bare minimum, as they find themselves back. As that was interesting stuff there from excuse me, 80, as he just did a revolution around the ball. As again, Florida, they've had the pressure this game. We found them in the Condor zone more often than not so far.
Yeah, a nice flick by Chunk to get that out into the mid, but that's going to be intercepted by Hammy. He's going to go for a wall pinch there, but it is intercepted by Cyber. That's a good one to get in front of. Don't let that ball get sent to the net.
You see the Condors, again, just trying to get out of their own zone. The biggest difference, I feel like, in this game and the last is they're getting caught out with a lot of times without boost, as they haven't been able to have the speed, the momentum to make the plays they need. It seems like Florida, they made the necessary adjustments.
Yeah, it seems like things are going a little bit more in Florida's favor, as they're starting to get a lot more demos on the Condors, as well as those boost steals, which is making things a lot more difficult to play defense as the Condors. But that's a great save there by 80 to get in front of that one.
Yeah, stayed locked in.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication by Florida. I think this is going to be a goal here. Oh, just off the post. And they do get it out. Oh, man.
Goodness.
80 just didn't have the boost to get to that ball or get in front of it in the right way. And unfortunately, the Condors not able to capitalize on an open net right there. But here's a second chance going to be cleared out by Larry.
that ball was, again, we talk about a breeze, a sneeze away from going into the net, and yet no one could hit it. And then good on the Florida Gators were able to just somehow magically flick it away as they found themselves again with offensive opportunities, and this has just been a complete change of pace.
Yeah, just mere pixels away from a tying goal there for the Condors, but they're going to keep the pressure coming. It's going to be controlled by Hammy as he's trying to bring this towards Condors net. 80 able to get that into the corner, but here comes Larry again. 2 Condors, not a lot of boost left on the goal line.
But good positioning will help them out there. The shot not making its way onto the net. Chunk is able to get that thing off the wall, carry it through the air, but gets denied at the net of Florida. And the last remaining Connor that could have gotten back. No, 80 was not the last man back. Chunk was able to get back and make a hairline save.
Yeah, what a save. And
2
another one.
back to back.
That is crazy. The Condors really need an answer right now, but some great play as that back check bump on 80 really set that play into action, and the Condors were forced to make 2 great saves right there.
Chunk going for the double tap in the net, and he will get it as that makes you make a face. Woo, baby.
Yeah.
That was a nice one.
That was a pretty one. Larry just hesitates for a second, gets caught too deep in the net, can't get in front of that one, and the Condors tie things up.
Hey, you always know a goal is nice when it makes you pucker your lips a little. As the Condors tied it up. 1, 2, 3 left on the clock. That's going to be 80 seconds for the Condors to, well, maybe break the deadlock, as that was a long time running without the Condors scoring anything.
Yeah, absolutely. This one a little bit dangerous, but Cyber was able to get there. Chunk's going to follow that up and pass to Cyber. A nice shot, but Larry does get up for that one. And 80 is there to keep it into the Florida zone. The Condors get back. They want to be ready on defense for this upcoming attack here.
You got Chunk and you got Cyber back in the Condor zone, but both of them missed their play on the ball. 80 makes the good rotation from offense to defense to get that ball, but you see here the Florida Gators, they just want it more than the Condors right now. They are just absolutely on a heater with the pressure that they're putting on, but don't look now, but the Condors in the attacking zone. This thing's going back and forth. 30 seconds left, still anyone's game.
Yeah, definitely. It's going back in front of the Condors net, but they are able to get it to the corner. Here comes Hammy Crackers with another attempt. Does get the demos. The Condors are down a player for just a second as Chunk does respawn. It's time for the Condors to try and clear this out. There's only 20 seconds left in the game. It's looking like next goal wins territory, although it is Rocket League, so anything can happen.
Not wrong. The ball hovering over in the crease of the orange side here. Florida Gators trying to get it out of their own zone, but the Condors keep on that ball. It's going to be Hammy Crackers in his own zone trying to get the ball in the air, but decides, you know what? Let's send it to OT. A whole reset here as we will have a face-off play.
Yeah. Good kickoff by the Condors. This gives Cyber some time with the ball. He's going to go up for this. Gets it off the backboard. Doesn't know if he has time to recover, and 80 was waiting there patiently, but Ray did get back in time. A good bump by 80, but that's going to be corralled by Harry deep into the Condor zone.
Yeah, too many Gators back, just too many bodies. As you did say, that was a really nice bump. I thought it opened up an opportunity, but it did not, as Hammy Crackers now with that ball, trying to set up one of his teammates, but too many Condors back this time as Chunk gets to it first. Has the boost to follow this up, but the defense was there. 80 placed that real high off the wall, and there will be no follow-up as the Condors are now back in their own zone.
Good thing Cyber was back. He just makes that save, and that was a tough 50 because that ball was sitting right there. If there was a University of Florida player ready for that rebound, that could have been the end of the game for the Condors, but we've got control of the ball again. And here comes Cyber up the wall, brings it towards the Florida net, gets the flip reset, but it is met by Larry.
Condors staying in on this. They have the boost to make it a bit of a challenge, as you see. Individually trying to get onto that ball, but they cannot. Hammy Crackers, the lone man back, able to get that ball, sending it towards the Condors net. Cyber, of course, the ever reliable, able to make that save.
Yeah, both of these teams playing very physical in this overtime. It seems like every time somebody touches the ball, they're met with a bump. And that's going to be a goal for Hammy Crackers as he just finds that miss by Chunk. Maybe it was a light touch by Chunk, but he just couldn't get it out enough. Yeah. A miss by Chunk, unfortunate. And that finds the back of the net. Florida ties this up at 1 game apiece.
The big difference, though, is that it took almost a full minute of overtime in that second game. You could tell University of Florida made the necessary adjustments to be in this matchup against this Conestoga team. The biggest thing I noticed, at least, they always had boost.
Yeah, they were doing a great job at just kind of making sure they were picking up all the pads compared to the Condors and kind of stealing some of the Condors ones. You saw those goal line saves that the Condors were making. Sometimes they were kind of a little low on boost themselves. And the other thing is I saw a lot more of a physical matchup from Florida that time. They were making a lot of bumps and just making it so that the Condors weren't working super cleanly. You know, every time it seemed like a Condor touched the ball, they were either being bumped or not giving a lot of options. But a good start right here. It is going to be saved by Larry, but that's what you wanted to see to start a game.
That is a brilliant save, though, by Larry. Last second just coming in on that ball as Chunk gets a little setup there, but sends that thing into the corner. Again, he's trying to set up one of his teammates. He's good for those playmaking abilities, but could not get there as, again, the boost. It's going to be the story of the matchup going forward.
Yeah, that was a hard clear by Hammy, and then Cyber was able to try and take it out. A good demo by the Florida team, and the Condors are a little bit in shambles right now. A big bump. 80 not able to get back for that one, and Hammy's going to get the first goal of this matchup.
No, you were not wrong by saying the Condors were in shambles, as they just had a demo go off, and then two members back. The first one went for the aerial, could not get it, and then you're left with 80. No boost in the crease.
Yeah, that big bump on Cyber as well, as he was respawning and trying to make his way back in, and just couldn't get to the front of the net.
We see the Condors go down 1-0 for a second game in a row. It took them till 1 minute, 23 seconds left in the last match to tie it up. We'll see what happens here as, again, what I thought was going to be a high goal-scoring series based on the first game is slowed down considerably as Chunk finds that thing in the net, and the Condors down a man still get the ball out and have it in front of the net, but this is going to be tough to actually create a goal opportunity.
Yeah, kind of in an awkward spot there for 80. He's not able to really get it out. He's going to just rotate his way back, but Cyber right here in the corner is facing off a lot of University of Florida plays. Nice little move to get that out to the middle, but it's going to be received by the Florida players.
And it's a difference of speed right now. After that first game, the Condors were on top, and now it's the Condors playing in response to everything Florida is doing. They're setting the tone so far. It's going to be on the Condors at least to score one to change the atmosphere of this game, as that was really good stuff there from Hammy Crackers on the defensive end, and they do get that at least cleared to the midfield line, but the Condors still on the attack.
Yeah, here comes 80, goes for a bump on Larry, but Larry is able to get around him. Chunk's going to pick up this ball. He's not got a lot of boost to work with, but he gets a flick toward the net, steered aside by Hammy Crackers.
In on the ball, the Condors can't get it off the cars of the defensive team here, as that one just floating in the air. Gets touched so lightly from Hammy Crackers, but no one on the Condors could follow it up. It seemed like time stood still for a second.
Yeah, just that big demo coming in by the Florida player, Raid, I think, was able to take out Cyber, which put him not in a spot that he was able to go in for that ball. And the Condors are, yeah, they're in the Florida zone right now, but they're not really getting any chances yet. That's a nice pass by 80. It's going to be missed by Larry, but no one's there to put that home. And
Oh no!
That goes home. Cyber gets a nice little touch, and Larry misses that first one, and then maybe in his head from missing that one, can't get the second one either, knocks that one in. I think it was going in regardless, but...
Yeah, exactly. He has to sell out to be able to make any type of save on that, and so he thought, you know what, in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm just going to make a play. And the play ended up going in his own net as the
nice fake by Cyber. Yeah. Can he get
no way?
Oh, wow.
No way that save.
Hammy does get back for that one, but what a play by Cyber on the way in.
What a save by Hammy. I thought that was a surefire goal.
Yeah, just an ankle breaker to get things started. That's a good way to get the momentum back, is hit something like that, and it was very close for the Condors right there.
1-1 here with 2 minutes left. It did take the Condors a little less time to tie this thing up as the last game, although we see opportunity out front just whiffed by Larry, the goal opportunity thrown away from the Gators, and it now gives the Condors an opportunity to get this thing going. Chunk sends that on net. Larry, though, does not make two mistakes.
No, I mean, he missed that one in front. He missed the save. I wonder if Larry's a little bit in his head right now, but Condors, doesn't matter if he is or not, they got to just turn it on and try and take advantage of any gaps they can find. A nice pass from Chunk. Cyber can't get a hard shot on it, so he puts it into the corner here. And Chunk with the demo.
Yeah, that's what we need to see here. That's the big difference, as Chunk getting active on that. 80 makes two men miss on that. Does get bumped out of the way, but Cyber has his back. Sends that on net, and Hammy Crackers, good positioning to send that thing away.
Yeah, that was a great forecheck by 80 right there to just keep the pressure on. Kept the ball in the Condors, or in the Florida zone while Condors were getting boost. Chunk brings this into the corner. That's going to be intercepted by Larry. Goes out wide, but a nice soft touch by Cyber. He gets past one. Can't get it past the second. 80's there, but that's going to be blocked again.
Yeah, just softly floating up above the net of the Florida Gators, and no one man is able to make a good play on it other than Hammy Crackers, who takes that ball all the way down the field, and it's now setting up offensive opportunities for the University of Florida. But Cyber says, nah, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, he doesn't get the second touch there, but Chunk's there just to keep the pressure on this ball. It's going to be a good touch by 80 to get that back into the corner and out of the front of the net.
Chunk sends that towards the Florida Gators zone. If that was on net, it would have had an opportunity to go in. You heard the post sound go off. That's the crossbar going off as 2 opportunities back-to-back for the Condors, an inch away from at least being on the goal line.
Yeah, mere pixels right there as the Condors have been making some good plays right now, trying to get back in the win column here. It's going to be cut off in the front of the net. Cyber's got to get back for this one. He gets the boost steal in the corner, though, so that's a good start for this attack.
Condors do not want to see overtime. You know that they want to score here and end this thing in regulation, but so do the University of Florida. That shot on net. Chunk has boost, has opportunity, and will take it. Although that ball still out front. The man you don't want to see, the Cracker Man. Oh, but it does get turned away. The Condors playing some good last-second defense.
Yeah, this is just like last game. They gotta change up their overtime strat maybe a little bit and see if they can get the win here. It's going to be a demo off the bat, though, for the Florida team. That makes the Condors a little bit of a tough situation to get back for this one. It's off the wall, missed by 80, but Cyber's there to bring that out. Gets it way deep into the University of Florida end.
Although the good defense there from Hammy Crackers and the flip reset will send that ball on net, but who else? Cyber in net, able to turn that thing away as you see the Condors now. 80 setting up. Cyber who puts that thing off the crossbar. As close as we could get. That's 3 straight shots now for the Condors. Yeah. Off the crossbar, off the post, not going in. As that also not going in. Cyber turns it away again.
Yeah, great save on that redirect too. Cyber able to get back for that one. Is those redirects can be so tricky, and he gets back, keeps this game alive. Now 45 seconds into overtime, and Chunk is bringing it out. 80 does meet that one, gets it deep into the Florida zone, but Hammy Crackers is there to start taking control of this one.
Gets a flip reset with the dribble, but no, there it is. Couldn't get the ball out until a little help from a friend. There's Larry off the wall, making a play on that, trying to get the offense set up for the Florida Gators. Looking at the Condors, though, 80 Cyber both have boost, and they have the ball in their possession now. Playing it over to the middle of the field, attempted for Chunk, could not get in his possession. Cyber, of course, again, the man back to make the save as that. Again, much like the Condors, going off the post.
Yeah, another demo there for the University of Florida players, but Cyber is able to get this one deep. He has no boost to work with, but it might not matter. The Florida team doesn't know that, and he's still on this ball. He finally does rotate out as 80 comes in for this one, and Cyber is there to try and pick up this ball, bring it up the wall, but he gets demoed again. Yeah, this Florida team has been so physical, and I think that's making a lot of a difference in their play.
We theorized they would be playing physical. They'd be playing angry, and they've been playing mean so far.
Yeah, here comes Chunky, brings us into the Condors zone. This time, 80 is the one with the demolition. I, for a second, wasn't sure who got demoed there, but it was the Condors with the demolition, so that gives them a chance to put some pressure on right now as Cyber's going to pick up this ball in mid.
Sends that towards the net of the Gators. Cannot get it to go at all as we see Hammy Crackers, the man you don't want to see. This is what Coach Hurd was talking about when the other team had a quote-unquote star player. This is your man. As in overtime, that's beautiful from 80. Right place, right time.
Yeah, goal line save there, and he had to make a really awkward 50 at the beginning of that whole sequence, so good job by him to just get recentered, get back in the net. Hammy does get it past one Condors player, but they get the ball in the middle, and Larry's up there to pick that one up. It's now up to Chunk to slow things down a little bit, try and work this ball out of the zone.
That boost was gone on the defensive zone for the Condors. Chunk wasn't able to pick it up, which made the attack for the Condors a little bit different. We saw the flip reset attempt there from Cyber. Chunk plays that over to 80 in mid-air, but again, Larry, he's been good at playing those defensive aerials as this is Hammy Crackers with a scary opportunity. The demo comes out, but Chunk saves the game, keeping this alive.
Yeah, great presence of mind by Chunk to keep that one out of the net. They still got to get this ball out of danger as the Florida team has just been a little bit of an onslaught right now as they're taking everything toward the net. The Condors need a big clear or just good control of this ball.
Yeah, no room to breathe whatsoever. The Condors just keep getting met everywhere they're trying to play as we have had 3 minutes of overtime already as neither team has really had that primo A1 shot opportunity.
Yeah, both these teams really want it. Now the Condors are back in the Florida end, but it's going to be cleared out by Larry. He gets a shot toward the net, and Chunk had to make an awkward play, but Cyber's there to redirect that one and get it out of danger.
Yeah, just got to keep this ball moving forward, though. You got to carry that momentum. Chunk had maybe an opportunity at an open net, but could not get it to go, as the clear opportunity from Hammy Crackers won't be what he quite wanted it to be, as the Condors are now ranging back on the attack. They just need one bounce to go their way, but that is not it. That ball sent towards the net, and who else? 80 back to play that, as he's met this thing off the wall, makes Hammy Crackers miss, but Hammy Crackers gets the mid-air bump to stop 80 in his tracks.
Yeah, and Cyber's there. He's able to take that one from behind the net, try and get this one out. He's not working with any boost, but he does get a hard touch on it. It's going to be Larry, though, gets control of this ball in the middle, and the Condors have to get this one away from the net. Chunk is there. He has a full tank of boost, but it's going to be intercepted by Raid, going right back in front of the net, gets the flip reset, drops that one in front, and the Florida Gators score. That's going to be the second game for them.
And like you said, Raid caught that one in midair, got the flip reset, got the perfect pass off the crossbar, and 80 was there for the opportunity, but the second hit is the one that kills him, as the Condors go down 2-1 in back-to-back games, back-to-back overtime games again. They've played an additional 5 minutes of games so far.
A full extra game. We're getting a lot of Rocket League today, and it just goes to show the pedigree in both these teams, the level that they're both bringing to the board here. Florida was able to rise. The Condors kind of dominated game one, and Florida's been able just to rise right up to their level.
Yeah, both those games in a row were just close battles, and especially that last one, the Condors seemed to maybe lose a step as the Florida Gators dominated them in the shots in that last game. It's going to be big on the Condors just to get that game one form back.
Yeah, good kickoff by Florida. Does get it past the Condors, but Cyber is back to make the save on this ball, and he's going to try and get this one off the wall. He does. Nice pass received into a musty, and that's just blocked by the Florida defender.
That would have been pretty cool. I will not lie to you. Getting a musty flick mid-game as Hammy Crackers now gets his own flip reset, sends that towards the net, and Larry, the little touch is all it takes.
Yeah, just enough to get that one started off. Some really fancy air mechanics there as the flip reset pass right to Larry.
Oh, never mind.
yeah. That was going home without Larry.
You know what we say to that? Swipe or no swipe.
yeah.
As he steals the goal from his teammate, but it all counts the same on the scoreboard. Double demo from the Condors, although the ball stays in their own zone.
Yep, Raid is still on it, and he gets revenge as he's going to take out a Chunk or Cyber right there and get the demo back. But the Condors are there to make the save on this play. He brings it out front. Nobody there to pick that up, so 80 is able to steer that into the corner again. Chunk gets a nice clear, and Cyber is going to be there to try and pick this up off the wall. He does. He's bringing it back out front.
He's got Chunk with him.
Flip reset.
He tries to play it to Chunk, who comes over for the shot opportunity but cannot get it to go. 80 follows it up as the third man, and they will keep this ball at least in an offensive opportunity, but it's getting batted away by Hammy Crackers, the man that you do not want to see with the ball on his car in this situation.
No, Hammy has been a dangerous force. He got both the overtime goals so far. He's gotten 2 of the starting goals as well, I believe, so he's just been all over the Condors, and you got to make sure you don't give Hammy too much time and space because he's been dangerous.
Gets the fake off the wall there, decided to play that a little differently here as he is changing the pace so much, and he's just ankles are attempted to be taken. That was a close shot there, as again, this is not what you want to see out of the Condors.
Yeah, we do get a fortunate clear off the 50 there as the ball goes all the way into the Florida zone, and the Condors are going to try and keep that there, but it's going to be 50 into the Condors corner this time. And Larry is there for the touch pass into the corner. 80's got to get control of this ball. He does get one touch on it, not enough to get it past Hammy Crackers. And Cyber's got to get back for this one as Larry's going to have a shot on goal just wide, way wide. In the corner.
Yeah, again, you just see on the screen as we are all seeing it, there's just so many Florida Gators that are always there to play. Whatever the Condors are doing, the adjustments are being made by one of 2 teams so far. And, well, we're watching the team come down on attack here. Chunk able to make that play. But again, there's Hammy Crackers. They always are in that rotation.
Yeah, big demo by Cyber. It's going to give Chunk a chance to bring it toward the net. He does get a pass to 80, but that's going to be intercepted by Larry, and Larry brings that back towards the Condors net. It's going to be cleared by Chunk. He's got time to follow this up, but Raid is there to knock it away.
Yeah, and 80 doesn't have the boost to go up the wall and follow that ball, as Cyber does make a good play in a very low-speed, high-risk situation. Does make a good play as the rest of the Condors here trying to make up and get their first goal on the board in this game 4, and it's just not been working out for them.
Nope. Here comes another attack by Hammy Crackers. He tries to go off the stealing right there, but Cyber is there to knock that one away. It's going to go into the corner now, and Larry and Raid following this one up. A couple of wall dashes, but Chunk is there to clear that ball out, and 80's going to bring it up the wall. See what we can find in the midfield here.
Fakes out the first attempt in midair, decides to take it down to the ball, and well, it will not work the second time, but this will.
Oh my goodness!
I'm out. You're. Oh, I was about to say you're out of your minds right now. If that first ball, how many goal line opportunities can we have as Coach Hurt is being swallowed by the void?
What a save by Hammy Crackers on that first one. You saw him getting chased into the net by 80, avoiding that bump, or maybe even getting bumped a little bit and recovering, and then getting out to make that save. But the Condors, they stick to it, and 80 is able to put that one home. But
how many times can the ball just settle on the goal line in one 7-game series?
Just crazy. And the Condors are going to have a little bit more pressure to start things off after this kickoff. The first pass by 80 is cut off in the corner. Now Larry's going to bring it toward the Condors net. It's going to be met by Cyber, who clears it deep into the other zone.
This is the momentum that Conestoga had to ride as the shot taken by Cyber. He and 80 both near that ball, unable to get it. Either of them has played in front of the net, and 80 couldn't get it in the net as that one just settling in the crease as we find ourselves in another 1-1 game with 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, both of these teams do not want to lose right now. They're playing, putting everything on the line right here, especially the goal line, it seems. And the Condors are still dealing with this onslaught of a very physical Florida attack right now.
As the ball just out front, Larry, who was demoed, was able to respawn, get that boost, and stay in the battle as EC Condors have numbers back, and they have an opportunity now to get this ball out of the zone, and this has to be followed up on, and it is by Hammy Crackers and no one on the Condors as Chunk, the lone man back, able to get to that ball and sends it out. We have an opportunity again.
Yeah, a nice free flip pass into Cyber right there, who's going to corral the ball in the corner. 80 gets that out front, but not enough to get it to Chunk as it's intercepted by Raid. Condor's got to get back as there's only 10 seconds left. A shot just wide, and the rebound saved by 80.
Great positioning. With 5 seconds left, there still is an opportunity for the Florida Gators. This is just out front of the Condor zone. On the grounds, though, and you ever get that feeling of deja vu?
Yeah, here we are yet again, back into overtime. A little bit of a high pop into the Condors zone, but Chunk is there to clear that one out. So it's going to be the Condors on offense now, trying to put home their first overtime win.
This is not the man you want to see, the man who scored in overtime twice already. Hammy Crackers taking the ball from the Gators zone into the Condors zone. They get a demo off. That's off the crossbar and followed up by Raid, winning the third game for Florida and taking a 3-1 lead in the series now.
Yeah, that is, you're just a tough spot to be in if you're the Condors right now, because all of these games are going to overtime. They're in them, and just Florida right there makes better use of the aggressive play, gets the bump, and the Condors now find themselves at match point despite three games ending in regulation. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that first game feels like a different day now.
Yeah, it was a decade ago.
That 3-0 win is just everything has changed, and the biggest thing I'm noticing so far is just, like you say, the physicality and the shot opportunities. The Florida Gators are all over the Condors right now, and you could see it in the statistics as the Condors in those past 2 games we're struggling to get guys with more than 3 shots on goal each, and the other team had guys with 5 or 6 shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely want to try and continue to get start making some offensive chances here. Another demo for the Florida team. This is going to be trouble for the Condors, but 80, no boost, still there to make the save. That's great play by 80. Cyber's going to bring this one. Gets a nice little fake. Does get Larry to jump at that one. Now it's Chunk's turn to try and get something going towards the Florida net.
Cyber couldn't make a play on that ball as it comes down towards the Condor zone. AD decides to get that boost. Good decision as he now has the ball on his hood, dribbles it out of the zone, and he still has opportunity. Went for the demo, but got a jump from Raid, which messed that up. The Condors still on this attack. Pass over to Chunk is the shot low on the ground. Save made from the Florida Gators.
Yeah, 80's able to get that one, gets up in the air and leaves it on a platter for Cyber, but he's not able to get a good shot on that one as it's just in a little bit of an awkward spot. That one's going to be blocked as well by Raid as the Florida team now tries to get it into the Condor zone.
Trying to get out of their own zone now, and this is where Florida this big adjustment has been, which is just not letting the Condors get out of their own zone. 2 demos back-to-back from the Gators will keep their offensive opportunity alive. Cyber has low boost, but gets to that ball just enough to keep this thing on the Condors' possession.
Yeah, a nice flick pass by 80, but it's just a little bit out of the reach of Cyber. But a good start, gets the ball out of the zone, but the Condors are being, really aggressively played by Florida right now. They're getting the boost steals, they're getting the demos. It's been their game plan since, game 2.
No goals so far until Cyber.
What a play. What a nice flip reset on that ball. All I could say was nice. What a goal right here. Just a flip reset shot.
I was just about to say, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, no goals. That's the longest we've seen without a goal until then. That was beautiful from Cyber. The difference maker potentially here as the Condors need to carry this momentum.
Yeah, definitely the Condors. This is the first time they've scored first since the first game, and I think they just have to keep that rolling for them.
Again, this has been a huge, hugely based on momentum, these matchups so far, as the Condors couldn't maintain that momentum. Cyber does maintain his momentum into that save, but cannot get the clear. The University of Florida has just taken every little bit of that motivation from winning and carrying it into these next games. But you see the Condors, they have resilience. They don't have any quit.
Yeah, that was a couple of huge saves by the Condors there. Chunk on the goal line, and then Cyber coming through to make that block a little bit farther out from the net, because I thought that rebound was a surefire goal, and Cyber finds a way to get in front of that one.
We got some bumps. We got some demos coming out here from the University of Florida, and they find themselves in a goal-scoring opportunity. The Cracker man comes through, unable to get that thing on goal. Thank goodness for the Condors now, as they still have their backs against the wall. The bump comes out, and that is too effective, too efficient from the Florida Gators.
Yeah, you don't expect a nice soft bump like that when you're Cyber in that situation, but Hammy just sneaks behind him. Or sorry, not Hammy. Raid sneaks behind him. Hammy is there to put the goal home, and that's going to tie the thing up for University of Florida.
Think there's going to be overtime again?
I hope not.
The pattern recognition part of my brain says there will be.
Yeah.
The Condors find themselves in their own zone off the kickoff, but with no one back, they had an opportunity to make a play on that ball on the net, but they cannot, and now the rest of the Gators are back. I don't expect too many fireworks here as that ball gets played out by Raid into the middle of the field.
Yeah, a nice intercept by Chunk. Cyber does try and get to that double touch there, but it's going to be cleared aside by Hammy. Larry now chasing that one as he gets it out to Raid, but Chunk does cut that one off, and the Condors are going to start toward the Florida zone here.
Chunk gets the boost out of the corner and gets the ball on his car as he's trying to will this thing out front of the net of the Florida Gators, but cannot get it to go as the Gators just playing that defense so effective.
Yeah, the Condors got to be fast on these balls here, because the University of Florida team are just finding their way to get read all the bounces, just get there a little bit quicker sometimes this game, and the Condors are not having a lot of scoring chances because of that.
In their own zone now, the Condors trying to find their way out and find their way onto the scoreboard again. Our 1-1 tie with 1 minute left in the game. Cyber plays that to 80. They go for maybe a little pinch opportunity to get that out of their own zone, but it does not work. Cyber has no boost and trying to make a defensive opportunity here. The ball just settling to the left of the net, constantly knocked up.
What a save.
Yes, Cyber just barely getting to that.
Yeah, could have kept this game alive, and what a pass, but that's going to be cleared by Larry, but a great play by the Condors after being in a little bit of shambles in their own zone there. A huge save by Cyber to start that thing off.
Ball played up into the air from the Florida Gators in their own zone. 80 is the first man on it, has no boost, decides to get the corner boost. Good decision, but it will leave the ball open for the Florida Gators. They put this thing in front of the Condor zone, but that's not so much of a bad thing. 80 is the first on the ball, and Cyber's behind him with a boost, but no, they cannot get this thing cleared out. Good thing Chunk is the last man back. This is just not going the way of the Condors at all, as Raid is able to get that in. It just felt like a calamity of errors.
Yeah, just the Condors just couldn't get that out. Still lots of demos coming in from the Florida team here. Chunk gets that one demo, but 80 doesn't have any boost to work with and get in front of that ball. And they've got 23 seconds to score here. They're going to find themselves in the lower bracket.
This is a situation that it could be more dire, it could be worse, as there's 20 seconds here. Cyber following that ball in the air towards the net, plays it out towards Chunk, plays it to 80. They're doing passing. They're trying to get back into this one. The flip reset, just not enough. Cyber has an opportunity here for a double tap, but no. Crackers. Hammy Crackers gets up to a first with 1 second left. this is it for the Condors.
Yep, the Florida team just needs to knock this ball down. The Condors going to try and get on it, and that's it for the game. Unfortunate for the Condors, not going to be in the grand final just yet.
But that does not mean that all opportunity is gone. Of course, we said it before, but we'll say it again. It's a double elim bracket. A bracket reset takes place at the end as the winner, University of Florida, congratulations, played excellent, especially after that first game where the Condors went up 3-0 and held that lead. Then the second game happened, then the third game, then the fourth game, so on. You know the story. You just watched it, and it's something that I definitely think the Condors are going to be going back and reviewing heavily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those games were so close. They went to overtime. They had a 4-minute overtime in one of those games, and it was just they just lost by like a matter of inches. You know what I mean? Just pixels.
Yeah. How many goal line
points.
opportunities did the Condors have in that game? I mean, how close can you get before it just, you get a little luck here and there?
Yeah, exactly. We needed a couple of bounces, and that could have gotten the Condors' ways. I'm sure there's things they want to improve upon. We definitely, it didn't seem like we necessarily had a response to the University of Florida's more physical play. We didn't know how to exactly work around that and continue dominating. I mean, we still had our moments, obviously, like that flip reset shot by Cyber.
Yes.
Gross. It's so gross.
Disgusting in the best ways possible. I mean, just to be able to pull that out in the situation that he did to tie up the game.
Yeah.
Sadly, just was not enough for the Condors, as the biggest difference that I've seen in this game versus games of past is the goal scoring. It just was not there for the Condors.
Yeah, they were just having a hard time really making it work on Florida. And, shout out to Hammy Crackers. I think he was really the MVP for Florida this game. He seemed to always be on the goal line and also always scoring at the same time. Like, he
was the man that was getting the ball out of the Gator zone and then, like you said, putting it in the net. And you said it, I like to do match MVPs, of course. I think in total it has to be Hammy Crackers. But for your Condors, who do you think was really excelling?
I thought they all played like they were even in terms of who was touching the ball, who was in position and making saves. There were a couple of really big goal line saves there from Chunk, though, so I might have to give it to him.
Yeah, Chunk was all over it, and then I'll have to give mine to Cyber, as he also made a ton of goal line saves, kept the Condors in it, and of course had maybe the goal of the night.
Yeah, that flip reset was very, very nice.
Oh, we'll be thinking about that for a long time, and I'm sure the Condors will be thinking about this matchup, as they do luckily have more Rocket League to play after this. How do you come off a loss like this, something you definitely wish you could have had back, especially with how many overtimes there were? How do you rebound from this? How do you think the Condors will?
I mean, like I don't have the high-level esport athlete brain, but if I had to,
on a human level,
hit training packs for 40 hours.
No.
I think it's just a matter of just fine-tuning, right? Like working with Coach Hurd, making sure that we are in a spot where we can where we can just have that little extra push, because next game it is all or nothing.
Oh yeah. And so to hear more about that from maybe some of the players, but I doubt it. I mean, we'll give them their space. They just did have a tough loss. We will hear more from Leaf. So I do want to say shout out to the Rocket League team. You guys did play well in the loss. How many overtimes can you have before it finally goes your way? Apparently 4, not enough. Or 3 was not enough. So that's it from us here. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you stick around because we got Leaf taking over right now.
That's right. We'll leave them be for now. It's time for me to draw some pictures in a moment here. I want to talk about something that might be obvious to players at this level, but if you're watching for the first time, you might not realize it's something you might want to implement into your Rocket League play, and something I saw a lot from the Condors, and they've been getting better and better and better at throughout their play here now, especially as Cyber's worked in here. This, of course, is a simple mechanic called upfield passing, or playing past the ball as well. We saw it a few times. In the first one here, we see a beautiful upfield pass. You see Cyber playing up past the ball, something that the Condors struggled with earlier in the season and in past seasons here. And what that allowed them to do is get on offense. It didn't convert into anything there, but that's fine. The point is that they pushed onto offense. If you're playing behind the ball, and I'll draw out scenarios you might do it later on here. If you're playing behind the ball, you don't always have those opportunities. You might lose possession. That pass upwards would have turned into nothing. Same thing here. You see that pass up to Cyber, who can then turn that into an offensive play. Same thing on offense, same thing on defense. Now, of course, University of Florida, the Gators, did another one themselves, a flip reset to a player coming from the corner. Now, why is this so deadly? Well, first off, you saw there from Florida is you can score out of it. You always want to be doing this, but you don't want to do it too much that's predictable. You see almost a read there from our opponents. Let's bring up the infield play here, and I'll show you sometimes you should use it and shouldn't use it, and why it can be so deadly. It seems obvious, but so many people are afraid to play past the ball. So if we look at the overview of the field here, I'm going to show you what we're seeing. First off is, let me get my line, is you're seeing these plays upfield as you have a player meet that ball. So player number 1, player number 2, and then usually can score. Now, the defenders are going to be looking for an intercept, and you almost saw it on that first play there that we saw as the example of the Condors moving this one upfield. You do it too much, it's going to be predictable. Now, if you unfortunately don't ever play past the ball, if we have the ball in mid here, and you're always having your players back here, there's so much more room for your opponents to be able to play up and hold that midfield pressure. What you're doing by having a player move up like this and going for upfield passes is you're limiting the space that your opponents get to play in. You're forcing them to either commit a player to a play that they can't see, or they're just stuck back here on defense and they lose control of this part of the field. So again, on defense, you can do this a lot by, and something we see the Condors, they were doing is just solo playing out to mid. Something you can do here is have a player grab a boost up off the wall, and then the player off the backboard sends the pass over this way. And now you've got those lateral passes, the upfield passes that can create those offensive opportunities and pressures. Same thing on offense. If you have, say, a player rotating back like this and another player rotating in, you can intercept. Instead of shooting the ball straight at the net where a defender is going to be waiting for it, you can pass that ball to a side angle. Exactly what we saw in that last play there. That attacker stole a boost, stayed upfield, and then I believe it was Raid had a flip reset that sent that right into the corner into our net. So any opportunities that you guys can get, try and start moving upfield. If you know your teammate has the ball around here, try moving upfield and looking for a play. Now, you also need your teammate that has the ball to know to pass to you. In ranked, you might see him just send it over there, and now you're out of the play. You want to back off. Don't commit to it at that point. But looking for those opportunities in your ranked play, in team play, is going to give you better chances to move on to offense, move out of defense, and just generally control the field a lot better. That's it for the lesson here. But try to look upfield more often and try to be that player moving upfield. If you're a second man, try moving up past the ball. You're going to find yourself controlling that midfield, being able to move out of defense, and sustaining offense a lot more often if you're looking for the opportunities beyond the ball, not just chasing the ball down the field every single time. But as you go practice that, we're all done here for the day. So the team does still have their second life as they head down to the lower bracket. They'll have to go up into the grand finals with one less life, though, of course, than the Gators, as we will face them if we can win our next match. Hopefully, that will be the situation. We're not done yet for the week, though. You can join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock for MLB The Show, as we have one more event before the weekend here in Condors playoff season. We just got to say right now, though, thank you guys for joining us. Please go follow our socials so you don't miss any more playoff action. But for now, go practice and get good. See you later.
Condors Esports is innovating intercollegiate gaming in Ontario and beyond. We've built a community where you can compete, play, and work in a dynamic program accessible from all campuses.
Condors Esports is more than just gaming. Here, you'll find empowerment and inspiration in state-of-the-art facilities equipped with the latest technologies and unwavering support.
We are varsity athletes, turning victories into championships as high-performing gamers.
We are relentless, constantly pushing our limits and pursuing excellence through every match.
We are Condors. Gaming connects us on campus or online, all through best-in-class equipment.
We're building a foundation of experience, powered by our passion. and developing skills that drive personal and professional success.
We are eager students transforming our dreams into careers in dynamic and emerging industries.
Condors Esports goes beyond gaming, fostering enduring friendships, unforgettable experiences, and meaningful connections.
This is your chance to transform your passion for video games, esports, and technology into something impactful. Learn how Conestoga is introducing Condors Esports to your campus and connect with fellow Condors striving to soar.
We
are Condors.
Good luck today.
Thanks, man.
How I'm loving life these days. I see it falling into place. It's coming together. I don't even need to chase it. You see it written on my face. It's the right time, right place. How I'm loving life these days. It's the right time, right place. How I'm loving life these days.